Hey guys. So today I'm going to be putting on my makeup and talking about the TV show Big Little Lies. I subscribed to HBO a few months back because I wanted to watch Game of Thrones, and when I subscribed to HBO initially, I was just going to cancel it when Game of Thrones was over. But then I watched Chernobyl, and that was mind-blowing. And then after that, I said, "Ooh, I've heard about that show, Big Little Lies." So I started watching that and got hooked after the first episode. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And on a completely different subject, if you buy hair bands and they stretch out after a while and become unusable, try something like this. It's about half the size of a normal hairband. And whenever I used to see these in the store, I thought, wow, that must be really hard to get in your hair. And it kind of is, but the upside is that if and when it stretches out, it's still usable because it's still not as big as a normal hairband. So, anyway, I just figured I would mention that because my mom had bought like a big, huge package of these little ones and she didn't like them. And I can understand why she didn't, because they are kind of hard to get in your hair. You can only double them, whereas with a regular size hairband, sometimes you do like 3 or 4 times around. But with these, you can only just twist it that one time. But like I said, they are going to last a lot longer because of that. Okay, I'm going to use Beauty Treats Lip Care in Jojoba. This is from the website shopmissay.com. I really love this. This is so nice. So yeah, I'm not going to give you any spoilers about Big Little Lies because it's the type of show that if I talked about it too much, you would definitely get a spoiler. First of all, this is not the kind of show that I normally watch. It's classified as a drama. Oh, this is Makeup Obsession Picture Perfect Pore Blurring Primer. They sell this brand at Target. I don't normally watch dramas. That's not my genre. But the reason why I was attracted to this show is because there were so many people in the show that I was already familiar with. It focuses on 3 specific women in the show. They're the main focal point characters, played by Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, and Shailene Woodley. So I was like, holy smokes, how much did they spend to make this show where they've got these big, huge names of people that are normally in theatrical movies? So that's what got me curious about it. Like, why would they sign on to do a TV show? Although big stars do tend to do more TV now, I think, than they used to in years past. Years ago, when somebody had made it, that was it. They were done with TV. But now I think people are open to the idea of doing a TV show if it's good quality, which this is. So that's who the show focuses on, is those 3 actresses' characters. And Shailene Woodley plays Jane, Nicole Kidman plays Celeste, and Reese Witherspoon plays Madeline. And during the first episode, somebody they let you know that somebody is going to die. They don't tell you who or under what circumstances, and they don't reveal who is going to die or how until the very last episode at the end of the first season, because they did get renewed and now they've just started season 2 like a few episodes ago. So they're dropping like little hints here and there, and the whole time you're watching this show, you're trying to figure out, okay, who is going to die and under what circumstances. So that aspect of it is almost like a murder mystery because they're giving you little hints about things to come. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't normally watch this genre. I don't normally watch murder mysteries, and I don't usually watch dramas in general. The other famous person that is in the show is Alexander. Oh God, what's his last name? Just drew a blank. Skarsgård? Alexander Skarsgård? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. But he plays the husband of Nicole Kidman's character Celeste. This is LA Colors Peach Corrector. And I use this sometimes as a concealer. This is just from Dollar Tree, but it's excellent. And this is a brand new one that I just opened up today because my other one is in my purge pile of products that are too old to be using. So that's what it looks like. It says face primer on there, but it's a peach color corrector for under your eyes. So I've been watching this show, and yeah, I got hooked after the first episode. I think it's fantastic. By the way, if you're watching this video and you are familiar with this show, please don't leave any comments that would spoil it for anybody, because, you know, that would just be wrong. I'm going to use Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick in the shade F5. Foundation sticks, when done right, are phenomenal, and I love them. But boy, there are some bad ones on the market. I'm talking to you, Maybelline Super Stay. The Maybelline Super Stay Stick Foundation is horrible, and the color selection is atrocious. I gotta go grab my makeup brushes. I forgot to put them on the table. It's funny because I really was never crazy about their previous foundation stick. I'm talking about Maybelline again. The Fit Me foundation stick, I never really liked that much either. It's like, come on, Maybelline, I know you can do it. I know you can make a good foundation stick. This is Sonia Kashuk's flat top foundation brush. It looks funny because it's very old. Actually, it doesn't look funny. I think that's really, I love the design of this. I think that's beautiful. But they do still make a flat top foundation brush. It just doesn't look like that anymore. Okay, so we're going to take this Revolution Fast Base foundation stick, and I just go like right across my forehead like that, and then buff it in. Yeah, I love this. I haven't really tried like a huge amount of foundation sticks, but it seems like the ones I have tried, I either love them or hate them. I'm trying to think of another one that I've tried over the years that I liked, because I know I have tried others that I like, but off the top of my head I'm not thinking of any, because this one is foremost in my mind. So yeah, back to Big Little Lies. These women have a friendship with each other, and there's other women too that are like outside their circle that they show you their lives and how they interact with each other, and they're all connected. They're supposed to be living in Monterey, California, the scenery in this show is stunning. For those of you that live in California, because I know there's quite a few of you that are subscribed to me that live in California, your coastline is absolutely nothing like ours. I'm on the East Coast, and the East Coast, the Atlantic Ocean, looks nothing like the Pacific. Wow, it's so different. And you know, they both are charming and beautiful in their own way, and I can't really say which one I think is more beautiful. They're just so different from each other. The Pacific Coast, the Pacific Ocean is so big and powerful, and as the cars are driving down, you know, it's like this big open giant cliffs, rocks. It's so different. The Atlantic Ocean is quieter. We don't get as many big waves, so not great for surfing. There's a lot of like inlets and harbors and quieter, cozy areas. The highways don't skirt the coast as much. They tend to be a little bit further inland, so that when you're driving down the highways, the major arteries, you can't really always see the ocean. Matter of fact, most of the time you can't, unfortunately. And then we have, I noticed like in this show that these people have all these massive mansions like right on the beach. It's not like that on the East Coast. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of laws that prevented people from building on the water in the first place. There are, of course, some businesses here and there, but not a lot, especially where I live in Massachusetts. I think it might have been John F. Kennedy. Don't quote me on that, but I think John F. Kennedy, when he was president, I think he made laws that prohibited people from building on the water because he wanted to protect that. And we have the Cape Cod National Seashore. So it's basically just beaches on one section of the Cape. And so yeah, there aren't a lot of houses on the beach. Which is great for the seashore and the animals, and you know, keeping it like environmentally friendly. I mean, he was way ahead of his time in his thinking, because I think he was thinking to himself, if I don't enact some kind of law now to protect this, it's going to be all developed. And that's what usually happens. I'm going to set everything with Rimmel Stay Matte powder on. I'm in the shade Natural. This is just a Wet n Wild kabuki brush. So yeah, you go into the lives of these women and how they're all interacting with each other. They have husbands, well, most of them do. They have children. Their kids all go to the same school. And the kids are all very different from each other. They each have, of course, their own little personalities and stuff. And there's even drama that goes on with the children and how they're interacting with each other. One of the characters has multi-generational children because, you know, like they were married before and they have children with their previous husband, and now he marries somebody else, they marry somebody else, and then they have more kids. So Reese Witherspoon's character has a daughter that is in first grade, but she also has a daughter that is in high school. So that makes the whole thing more interesting. But the most interesting, intriguing part of the show is the parts that I can't talk about because I really don't want to give any spoilers away. Okay, going for some full coverage today, I guess. Okay, next I'm going to use my Jordana Sculpt and Go Creamy Contour Stick. I seem to like products in stick form, right? Foundation stick, contour stick. Not going to use a blush stick or a highlighter stick today, but yeah, I really like stick products, and there aren't a lot of them on the market. I think I like stick products because they're just so easy to use. Going back to the foundation brush now. Because really, I mean, that's a very natural contour as opposed to a powder product. And why would you not want it to be easy, the makeup process? So yeah, I'm really enjoying Big Little Lies. Now I'm still subscribed to Netflix, and my husband and I are watching the latest season of Jessica Jones. I love the actress Kristen Ritter that plays that character. She is so good. And I don't see a blush brush. This is a Real Techniques contour brush, but I'm going to use it as a blush brush because I prefer a blush brush that has smaller surface area on it because it gives you better control. This is the PS Blush High Pigment Blusher. Oh boy, I'm glad that I grabbed a smaller brush then. And this is in the shade Rosewood, I think. Yes, Rosewood. Would you believe I haven't tried this since I bought it? See, this is why, for those of you that don't know, I'm on a no-buy. Because when you have a lot of makeup, you know, sometimes you buy things, you don't even try it, it gets pushed aside. And that's ridiculous. When I do my monthly purge, which I'm going to try to do that before the holiday weekend, that's when you'll totally understand why I'm doing this no-buy, because I keep track of how old things are, and so I know like when I have to get rid of things. I write down the date that I buy it. This is the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator, and it's in the shade Sunbeam. Yeah. So just put a tiny bit like that, and then tap it on that highlight area, and then just blend it a tiny bit with your fingers. What was I talking about? The upcoming purge video that I'm going to do. I'm calling it purge, not declutter, because I'm not decluttering. I'm just getting rid of things that are old but need to be thrown away. It's really shocking how fast, or it's shocking that they recommend that you throw away products after a year that are liquid, cream, and gel. That really doesn't give you much time to use them. So therefore, I shouldn't be buying many to start with, and I wouldn't have to keep throwing things away. And powder products, it's somewhat controversial about how long you should keep a powder product. The time frame on that varies quite a bit from what I've seen. This is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light Bronzer. And I'm going to go back to that Wet n Wild Kabuki brush because the only thing I put it in was a pretty much transparent powder, so might as well use this on my bronzer as well. Yeah, so I have been going by 2 years for the last couple of years. And that's maybe a little too strict, but the website that I had got my information from, and don't ask me which one it is, I have no idea. I just Googled one day makeup expiration or something like that, and it led me to a website that gave you time frames of when you should throw things away. And so that's what I've been doing for powder products is 2 years, but wow, 2 years goes by in a flash. And a lot of the things seem perfectly fine. So I'm seriously thinking about extending that a bit, but that's what I've been doing so far. Okay, so what was I going to use for an eyeshadow primer? I don't even see one in front of me. Oh, I think I was just going to use my foundation, but I didn't put foundation over my eyes when I did it, so I'm going to grab an eyeshadow primer. Okay, so I really like this Revolution Prime and Lock eyeshadow primer. It does the job without drying out the skin on my eyes because some eyeshadow primers will do that, and that's so irritating. I know that some people have issues with oil control, so there are eyeshadow primers out there that will do that, but I don't need anything like that. I know this is kind of unsanitary, but I'm just gonna dab some of this onto my finger and apply it that way. I feel like you get way better control with your finger than you do a brush. And I don't do other people's makeup, so this is not, it's not like this is gonna go on somebody else's eye or something. I'm the only one that uses this. But if you like to do other people's makeup, I would not recommend doing it this way. Yeah, this is a really nice eyeshadow primer because it's like tacky and the eyeshadows grab it really nice, but it's not drying either. Seems to be hard for companies to find the right balance. That's why so many people, I think, use concealer or foundation as their eyeshadow primer, because it works too. But eyeshadow primers are better for products that are tricky. This isn't a tricky product that I'm going to use now. This is Urban Decay Relish. And it is a matte finish. And I'm just going to use this MAC 239 shader brush. This type of shade, it's like a burgundy or a red. When you first put it on, it looks really crazy and weird, but then you put on eyeliner and mascara and it looks really cool. If I do say so myself. Yeah. So keep that in mind as you're looking at this look, because it is going to look really strange when I first apply it. So yeah, we've been watching season 3, I think it is, of Jessica Jones. And yeah, I love that character. I'm so sad that all the Marvel shows are going to be leaving Netflix. It had to do with like a contract between Marvel and Netflix, and Marvel is owned by Disney, for those of you that don't know. And Disney is going to be having their own streaming service starting in November. And last I heard, they were trying to decide whether they were just going to put Marvel shows on their new streaming service or negotiate a deal with somebody else, because their deal with Netflix is up. So I heard the other day that they were in negotiations with Hulu, but I don't think Hulu can come up with that kind of money, because Marvel is a very worthwhile commodity at this point, a very valuable commodity. I mean, the #1 movie at the box office every year is usually a Marvel movie. A lot of people love anything Marvel related. So yeah, I don't think even Disney themselves knows yet what they're going to do in regards to Marvel shows. But my husband and I usually watch all the Marvel shows together, all the DC Comics shows that are like on the CW that end up on Netflix. We watch all that stuff. But he's not watching Big Little Lies with me. I didn't even ask him if he wanted to watch it with me because I knew that he wouldn't like it because it follows, you know, the three women. It focuses on their characters, and the way that they portray men in this show is not too flattering. Actually, the women have their flaws as well, you know. Everybody's kind of screwed up, which is pretty true to life, I feel like. Okay, so I kind of heavily concentrated on the lids and try to make sure that I'm getting like even pigmentation, because with an eyeshadow like this, if you don't blend it really well, it's very noticeable. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get it like right down on that lash line and have a pretty even surface. Like, see, if you look at this one, okay, better. And then a little bit more towards the beginning of this. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a blending brush, and I'm going to go in with my favorite Morphe M506. And the reason why I like this is it's small. And I'm going to put some on the brush. And now I'm going to do the crease. And I don't want to use as much product in the crease area as I did on the lids. So we're going to concentrate the color here and then fade it up. And like I said before, it looks awful at this point, but when you put the eyeliner and the mascara on, just adding a little bit at a time, when you put the eyeliner and mascara on, it just brings the whole thing together. Okay, so darker in the lid, lighter in the crease. So I've been getting really spoiled having Netflix and HBO. And now that I have HBO and I'm watching all these other shows, it's like, I don't want to give it up. But I think when that Disney streaming service starts in November, there's a lot of original content that they're making for that. They're investing a lot of money to make content for that that is probably going to be phenomenal. I mean, it's Disney, so they've got the money to spend, you know? I've never been to Disney World. I've never been to Florida. Never been to California. But I've been to Vegas 9 times. 9 times! Yeah, when my husband and I first met each other, we made the decision to get married in Vegas and absolutely fell in love with it and just kept going back and back and back on vacation until we couldn't afford to do it anymore because we spent so much money doing that. And now we haven't been back in a long, long time. But we're hoping to make it an even 10 and get back there at some point. because, you know, stopping at 9 just doesn't seem right. So hopefully someday we can get back out there for that 10th trip. And it's changed so much from what I've read that we probably wouldn't even recognize it anymore because they've totally transformed the strip. Okay, now I'm going to take this Real Techniques accent brush or detail brush, whatever you want to call it. I don't, does it say on there? Accent brush, it did have a name on there. And I'm going to put some of the same shadow on that brush. I'm going to go along the lower lash line. So yeah, I've never been to California, never been to Florida. I've been to all the states in New England, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and I live in Massachusetts. I've been to New York. I used to be really into spectator tennis, and I went to the US Open one year. Not really into it anymore. This was the days of John McEnroe and Martina Navratilova, Jimmy Connors, and Chris Evert. Andre Agassi. That era. But other than that, oh, Arizona. I've been to Arizona long time ago. I went to Phoenix for a week and really, really enjoyed Phoenix. But I went in March when the weather is spectacular. So I think if I had been there like in July and August, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it that much. Because I do like the warm weather, but it gets crazy out there. It gets like over 100 in the summer. But I really enjoyed it in March. And as far as foreign countries go, I've been to Canada. When I graduated from high school, I went to Nova Scotia for a week with my father. And we have relatives, well, we used to anyway. Prince Edward Island is where my whole father's family is from. My grandparents were born there. And so he had been there, but Nova Scotia, he had been there too and fell in love with it. So he took me there for a week. And it's really pretty up there and quiet and clean, and the people are really nice. And so that's the only part of Canada I've ever seen is Nova Scotia. This is Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner in Striking Navy. I was thinking about black, and then I thought, no, let's go with blue, because to me this is almost like a neutral. And you don't want to skimp on this because this is a bold color, this burgundy shade. So you want to make sure you use plenty of eyeliner to balance or offset the strength of the other color. I normally do black, and I hope I didn't make a mistake by doing blue. But we shall see. Okay, now I'm going to use Believe Beauty High Definition Skinny Mascara just on the lower lashes. As far as travel goes, again, I always wanted to go to London. Because if you trace my ancestors, most of the ancestry gets traced back to England. Like I said, my father's family is all from Canada, but before they went to Canada, they were in England and Scotland. And then my mother's family is from England and France. So it would have been nice to go to Europe. But it's so expensive and it takes so long to fly across the ocean, and yeah. And then, you know, there's safety issues and stuff. I mean, there's safety issues no matter where you go. Somebody, you know, when you put on the news, people are getting shot and killed right in the area where I live in all the time. So, yeah, it's such a dangerous world. It kind of gives you pause when you think about traveling. This is Revolution, the mascara. Wow, this is a strange video, isn't it? Talking about everything. This is how YouTube used to be for a lot of channels back in the day. People would come on, they would do their makeup and just talk about whatever they felt like talking about. I don't see a lot of those videos anymore. And I always thought they were fun to watch because you never knew what people were going to talk about. But it really gives you a grasp for who that person is, depending on what they talk about and how they talk about it. It also opens up the door to a lot of controversy and hate comments. And the way I handle hate comments or negativity in any form, if it's really bad, I block the person. If it's annoying and just like their opinion, I just ignore it. And move on, because yeah, people are entitled to their opinion and they're not always going to agree with you, but you know, it depends on the level of negativity and hate that is involved. I decided a long time ago that if I didn't like somebody, or you know, you can always just unsubscribe from someone if you don't like them. I mean, why would you want to watch a channel that you didn't like? But oh, I forgot to curl my lashes. Son of a gun. And I don't like to do it after because it really messes up the rubber piece that goes on the eyelash curler. So we'll try and just push them up. You know, you can actually do that when the mascara is still wet. You can just kind of push the lashes up. Yeah, so if you find that you can't leave comments on my video anymore, I think it probably gives you a little message or whatever, then you said something that really upset me, so I do block people. I know that as you get more subscribers on YouTube that you're going to get more hate and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't feel like people should be abusive. Everybody has to put up with so much crap in their everyday life from so many people that I'll be damned if I'm going to put up with a lot of crap from somebody I don't even know. Maybe that's the wrong attitude, but That's how I feel. This is a Wet n Wild small angled brush, and I'm going to use this Believe Beauty Universal Brow Kit, and I'm going to go into that shade right there. I'm fortunate right now that I have a lot of brow products that I really enjoy. Because there was a time that it seemed like no matter what I bought, I couldn't find something that was the right color or the right texture, or I don't know, I just was having a really bad streak with trying new brow products. But now I seem to be finding a lot of things that I really like. The only thing that I don't like about this kit is it's really pigmented, so you have to be so careful how much you use, because it will go from a really nice brow to the crazy train really fast. Wow, the light is getting, it's getting really bright. So if you're gonna do burgundy eyes like this, you're gonna want to do a bolder brow, because if you do a natural brow, it just isn't gonna look right. So keep that in mind. That's why I decided to use my Believe Beauty brow products today. And then I'm going to use a second product after this. I'm going to use the Brow Styling Gel. And that is going to blend and soften this look that I'm doing right now, because this is really, really pigmented. And when I'm finished with this, it's almost going to look like too much. So the Brow Styling Gel is in the shade, well, I bought the shade Soft Brown, I think. Light brown, it's called. And it's just a beautiful, soft brown that will take this down a notch. Okay, this side right here just needs a tiny bit more on the outer portion there to balance. Okay, so this is the Believe Beauty Brow Styling Gel in light brown. And it's got this tiny, tiny little brush. So this color blended over the other one is gonna give you a really nice, like, hybrid shade. See, so that just softened it ever so slightly. Like, look at that brow. Okay, that's with just the brow kit. That's with the styling gel. So subtle difference, but it's, I feel like it's, you know, an improvement. Because otherwise it'd be a little bit too dark. And this tiny brush is so easy to work with. Okay, so all that's left is lips. I'm going to use a lip liner by Kylie Jenner. This is the Posie K lip liner. Just lining, not filling. And then I'm going to use the Maybelline, it doesn't say Color Sensational on here, but this is definitely a Color Sensational lipstick. But this is that Made For Me collection, and this is 376 Pink For Me. We're doing a monochromatic look today. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Morphe blending brush and I'm going to blend out the edges of this eye look. And just soften it up a little bit. Like, see the difference? Unblended, blended. Yeah, you don't want to leave those harsh edges there. And that is it. And I'm not going to take my hair down because I just washed it, so it's wet. So it would not look good if I took it down. But that is my monochromatic burgundy mauve-ish look today. And I hope you enjoyed chatting with me a little bit. And if you want to chat back, that's what the comment section is for. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.